Awesome. So, welcome everybody to the third session of this fun summer, Sassy Summer Series. Um, so, today, um, okay, let me start here. So, summer either slows us down, giving us a chance to rest, or fills us up with energy, or both, right? And it's a gift. It gives us a moment to tune back into ourselves beyond the noise and to-do list. So this isn't a season for pushing, it's a season for realigning. And previously we talked about sizzling stories that attract your dream clients with emotions and feels that are more powerful than a perfectly crafted pitch. Then we set boundaries like 10 lines on your body, giving you a clear indication of what is aligned and worth of you and what you need to blissfully release. So I just wanted to insert something here before we dig into our session today, that how I see and experience life and see it from others as well, because I always validate my ideas, not on a level of not trusting myself, but just listening because it's so important. I'm not pushing my ideas, I'm serving my audience and my clients. So feeling safe, certain, and loved are such important basic human needs. And only from there we can focus on freedom and free will. Usually we start with the freedom, but this important part comes first. So once we go through feeling safe, certain, and loved, we can focus on freedom and free will. And from there, we can manifest and build a life of our desires. Today, we are going to sink into something that doesn't get talked about enough, self trust. Because sometimes what I said, the safety, certainty, and being loved doesn't come from external sources and doesn't have to. We need to build it up for ourselves. So, not the loud, fake it till you make it type of self trust and self love, but something that is soft and steady, and you allow yourself to trust your own timing, your decisions, your voice, even if no one else claps yet, even if there is no evidence that it's going to work. So, overthinking is the biggest dream killer I see, because many times I know from personal experience, I delayed courses, or launching them, and even freebies, promoting freebies because I kept tweaking them over and over again, only to realize that deep down I was waiting for perfection instead of trusting that what I had was already good enough to help somebody and serve someone. So this summer, let's shift into self trust, the most beneficial business energy there is. Because believe me, when we feel overwhelmed, when we feel that we have too many ideas, too many things to do, too many things to sort out before we can do that final thing that we've been planning, that all comes back to not trusting ourselves, not giving ourselves the permission to succeed. So let me ask you a question. When was the last time you cheered on a friend, a family member, you helped them overcome an obstacle, a limiting belief, you lifted them up, you comforted them, you reassured them that they are amazing and they've got what it takes? When was the last time you did that? I'd love to hear.
So, my husband and I try to do that on a regular basis for each other. We both are have our own LLCs that we have started, and while they're related, they're not the same. And so, he works on his stuff and I work on mine, and we both try to, give each other that encouragement all the time
Mhm.
so that we both keep going, like because it's, it's
Yeah.
meant obviously not just to feed our own souls, but to benefit, our whole family by being able to be independently employed, and so
Mm.
But yeah, so that's something that we definitely try to do and encourage on a regular basis
Mhm.
for each other.
And that's beautiful. And I'm gathering that it comes naturally, right? You don't hesitate, you just do it, you jump into it. And even if
you,
he
you
doesn't
know,
say anything, you'll just know it, right?
for the most part, yes, but it doesn't. Honestly though, very truly, it doesn't always come easy. There are definitely times I know, intrusive thoughts are so fun, and it feels discouraging. It's temporary, but it feels discouraging when, like the other the other person's business seems to be getting further than your own,
Mhm.
and so I don't think that we've ever let it get to that point where we're like hating each other for it, because again, it's meant for our family to be beneficial. But
Of
we do need
course.
those reminders every once in a while, like, hey, we're in this together, and it doesn't matter whose business makes it further, because the money that we want to make and, the things that we want to do are meant for all of us, and so
Yes.
we've gotten better for sure, but it doesn't come without its intrusive thoughts. There's no perfect systems.
Yeah. And thank you for being real and raw and honest, because that's all it is about, to really opening up. Um, but and it's absolutely normal to go through different emotions, because this is part of the human experience. It's not like we could just set ourselves like a robot, and we condition ourselves that, okay, from now on I only react to this one this way. Yes, we can condition ourselves to a certain level, and that's the goal, in a lot of things. But there are so many elements in this topic that contribute, and it can fluctuate, how we feel, how we react about the same thing at different times. So that was a really good point, Danielle. Thank you for sharing. um, but if you think about, when was the last time that you cheered on a friend, family member, and really helped them, selflessly, without any doubt, any hesitation? I think you can remember that very easily. But if I ask you, when was the last time you cheered on yourself? When you overcame an obstacle, a limiting belief, in a loving and graceful way, no judgment or negative thoughts, you felt uplifted, comforted by yourself, and reassured and at peace, versus saying, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What was I thinking? I never make it happen. So that would be a much harder thing to recall, right? Because we are not programmed to do that. We'd rather, without realizing, most of the time, we help others so selflessly, but we need to learn to do the same for ourselves. And why do we lose this ability to ourselves? Because when we are not born the way we are now, it's due to lots of things that happen to us, that we experience throughout our lives. And let me speak, I know it's not just about women, um, but that's my expertise. So why women overthink? We've been taught to seek approval before action. So that's one of the big conditioning. And from there, we become to seek being perfect, and we start people pleasing, and we develop this fear of failure and success. So this becomes a nervous system safety mechanism. So it's something that just we developed, that a survival mode. And as business owners, this becomes in the form of content, or shows up in the form of content paralysis, underpricing, hiding our face online, and lots of things, like procrastination, overwhelmed, um, burnout, all those things. So how can you tell that you are not trusting yourself? We are constantly second guessing, you reject your own ideas. We are asking other people's opinions before moving forward. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with um, leaning into some sort of help, advice. But the one I'm talking about here is when you really just, reject everything on a level, not being sure about yourself, and it will block you. because it's two different things to go to someone for help and say, hey, I'm a bit stuck with this and how can you help me move forward? Versus when we say, oh, I just simply can't do it. I shouldn't even try. So two very different things. Ignoring your gut feelings and your body language when it's communicating with you, whether it's a yes or a no, it is just completely getting ignored. And for example, watching other people's content more than creating your own, it means that you're still seeking that validation. You admire others to the level that it will block you doing your own thing. And feeling resistant towards your prices, your projects, your processes, sometimes even your clients. So when we turn up in this form of not trusting ourselves, the audience can sense it. So when you don't trust yourself, it will come across without words. And if you wouldn't buy from you in that moment, neither will they. It's really important to remember if you don't trust yourself, they won't trust you either. What the good news is that trust is a practice, not a personality trait. The way we could develop not trusting ourselves, we can reverse it as well. So there is a process. First of all, you don't need to have all the answers. So it's not like, oh, I trust myself because I know it all, I've got it all figured out. All good, let's go. It's not how it works. You need to have your own bag and just embrace all the flows and the possibilities of failure or things not turning out the way you imagine them, right? So if you affirm this daily to yourself, I trust myself and I've got this, that will just boost everything that you do. So move first and perfect it later. I can't stress it enough, and I know this information is everywhere, but maybe it hits you differently hearing it today, that achieving success is not coming from have the most perfect background of everything, technically, skill-wise, audience-wise. Success is coming from action, right? And confidence and self-trust as well. And you can build it with small wins. That's the other thing is so important. You don't have to aim for the stars straight away, but we can start small. And every small little win will reassure your brain that, oh, hey, actually, I've got this. I can keep going. It's all good. So you can use these following mantras. I don't need evidence to believe in my brilliance. I tell you an example over this one. I trust the timing even when it's not trending or not working. I bet my voice even when it shakes. Oh my gosh, for me, that's so big. I had to learn to stand up for myself because sometimes we just have to defend or protect ourselves or just show that, hey, I beg to differ. This is your opinion and I respect it, but it shouldn't dim my light. So that's really important. So the example that I was referring to when we were talking about the evidence, whether we have it or not, I was questioning and doubting for my business idea for so long at the beginning because yes, first I didn't have clarity, but I was still in that phase of people pleasing and validation seeking, and I didn't have the evidence because this particular business that time hadn't delivered the results that I envisioned. So therefore, I didn't feel ready. I was jumping between ideas. I did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and never gave anything a proper chance. But when I got in full alignment with myself, and I said, okay, I just don't care who says what. It's mine. I started owning my vision, my mission, because it's so unique to all of us. No one can tell you, maybe not even your family, what you should or should not be doing because they haven't done the thing that you are about to do. And this not because they are not successful or not capable, it's because they are so different from you. And even the same thing, the same concept, they would execute completely differently. So you have to trust yourself first. And once I started doing it, and practically I just said, okay, screw it, I'm just going to let it all out. And I wasn't attached to the outcome either. I just really felt so called to do the Red Hill Boss the way it is today, that I just all put it together and let it do its magic, right? I still wasn't perfect because I made lots of little changes since. The last release was nearly about 2 years ago. But of course, it's an evolution as well. It's another topic. I don't want to go on a tangent, but it wasn't perfect, but it was the most perfect I could get at that point. And I did it anyway, and I started building up on it. And I had to just start trusting my abilities instead of comparing myself to others, because that can take away our self-trust as well. Oh, they've done this, so it looks so good. They have, I don't know how many um, people in their followers, and oh, they have a giant email list, and they already signed up 45 people for this program, or 450. We can't do this to ourselves. So my message with this one is just really trust that you are where you are meant to be in that very moment, and that's the best you can do. So there is no point of waiting or validating. Just jump in, trust yourself, give yourself the benefit of the doubt, and just do it anyway. And I'd love to give you a very useful visual. I call it the trust loop, because so first of all, what we are doing or not doing, where is it coming from? From expectations or alignment? Two very different things. Expectations are coming from outside, and it might not be our thing. In most cases, it's not. Or alignment, which is coming from outside, what we are called to do. We have this vision, this feeling, this mission, this fire, this purpose in us, and that's what we need to focus on. So it's always a really good question to ask yourself when you hesitate about something. Oh, is it a thing of expectations or alignment? So when you feel into it, the feeling of surrendering because it's so much bigger than you, and you become open and empowered. When you feel these things, when you know that you are on the right track, and just do it anyway. It's not gonna be perfect at all when you start out, but you just do it because you can always make changes as you grow and learn and experience. But anyway, what could be the worst that happens, if you jump into something that you don't feel ready for? Is there something irreversible, forever concreted in cement? No. You can always change things. So trust that you are on the right path, and trust that you are in your purpose. It is so important. No one can know it but you. And that's why you need to trust yourself. You are the only one who can know this and feel it. So let me give you this cycle. So trust, self-trust, even if it starts with a question mark, you're not 100% sure, but you just go with it, take an action, then some results came, and then you become more confident and you trust yourself even more. And then you repeat it. The trust with that the question mark gets a little bit more faded. You take action, you see results, you get more confident. And it's like a snowball effect. You keep repeating it. So you don't need to feel ready, because we never are, believe me. You just need to move first. So I'd like to encourage you to post the thing, to set that price, to say the scary truth. on camera, or just the fact that you record yourself on camera or speak, just do it. And launch that offer before it's perfect. So if anyone has anything to share, as usual, on social media or here in the Zoom room, please let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions or read any comments or reach out later. And I just like to wrap up today's session with the thought of or question that what if everything you are seeking this summer, is clarity, abundance, isn't out there but within you? What if owning your magic starts by trusting your next step? So we explore these shifts weekly inside the Feminine Energy and Business Mastery membership, where self-trust turns into clarity, clarity into content, or any type of action, and content into clients. You don't need to learn more or hear all the noises out there, because it's such a giant amount of information out there that will just confuse your brain. You can come into this space where the magic feels seen and you get the right support, the right help, someone who has your back and does the heavy lifting for you when you can't do it yourself. So don't let fear define you. Choose to change, reclaim your power, show up differently. From your powers and self trust, try it on with something small. How does it feel? How does it change things for you? I'd like to leave you with this thought and visit the redhillpost.com feminine mastery, slash feminine mastery for the membership details. And as always, thank you so much for spending this time with you. I hope you can implement at least one thing from today and let me know how it goes. And Adabisi, thank you for making the event happen in the tech background of everything. So that's it from me today. Have an amazing time. Enjoy the sunshine and warmth, and see you all very soon. Have exciting things coming up from next week. I love the floating um, heart in the Zoom room. It's amazing. Zoom is really stepping up their game, I feel.
Oh, I got to do it too. Yay.
Yeah. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye, Debbie.
Say bye bye. Bye.
Have an amazing rest of the day.